How we doing, guys? Welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Newcastle against Arsenal, back in Premier League action after Carabao Cup action against Port Vale in midweek. And this is one fixture that I do not look forward to. Whatever the reason, we struggle at Newcastle. We lost there last season. We also lost there last season in the Carabao Cup. And we also lost there the season before. Whenever we go to Newcastle, we seem to get bullied. We seem to get thrown around the pitch. Decisions, for whatever reason, go against us. And we ultimately lose the game. And it just seems to be a team that we struggle against. And I don't know the reasons why. Could it have been Alexander Isak? Well, that's something we don't have to worry about. But I do just think it's Newcastle in general. The way that Eddie Howe sets them up. And we just don't seem to be able to sort out that situation. And, you know, you think of the last game at the Emirates last season. I know we won the game, but if it wasn't for some, poor finishing and David Raya in goal, then Newcastle could have got something out of that, even in that one. But yeah, this game is so important. I don't think that we've had the worst start to the Premier League, given the, games that we were given and how difficult some of them were. But because Liverpool have gone and won their first 5 games, whether you think that it's luck, or whatever with these injury time goals and everything, the reality is that they've won them. So that puts more pressure on us, being 5 points behind. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, right, okay, we're going to be playing after Liverpool again. So that's a pressure within itself. You've got to look at that and say, right, you go into this game, you know where you stand. Now, they haven't got an easy game. They're away to Crystal Palace. And Liverpool and Crystal Palace are the only 2 sides left in the Premier League that haven't lost a game. So it's not going to be an easy one for Liverpool. But we're looking at our one, and I'm thinking, if Liverpool were to win, we cannot go 8 points behind Liverpool at this stage of the season already. 8 points is a lot after 6 games. And you're already looking at that and saying, you're relying on 3 favours already of teams beating them. If you include yourself, and we beat them at the Emirates, 2 other teams. And I don't want to be relying on other teams to do us favours, especially not this early in a season. And that's why we cannot afford to go 8 points behind. We have to win our game, keep doing our job, and not worry about Liverpool. And then it will kind of take care of itself. And after this game, I don't want to say this and tempt fate, but we've got a run of fixtures that are very much favourable. Now, I know one of those games in a week's time is West Ham at the Emirates, and that in itself has our own obstacles over the last few years. But given the circumstances at West Ham at the moment, you've got to say that's a decent enough one there. Fulham away, it's not always easy, but should be able to navigate that. And yeah, we've just got a nice run where we can get a bit of momentum going and some wins and a consistent run. But Newcastle, at the end of the day, despite where they are in the league, they're sitting 13th, okay? Don't let that fool you, all right? They've only won 1 game. They've drawn 3, they've lost 1. But of those 5 games they've played, they've kept 4 clean sheets. So they're difficult to break down. They're difficult to score against. The 1 victory was at home against Wolves. The 1 defeat was at home against Liverpool. And we already know what happened in that game. And I think it was about the 100th minute that Liverpool went and won that game. But yeah, when I look at Newcastle, I'm starting to see them slowly getting over the situation with Alexander Isak. And there was a big fallout from that. There was a lot of hangover and everything else, as expected. And it looks like they're slowly starting to move on from that, and they're starting to build, without having that all hanging over them. It's a difficult place to go. Very, very difficult place to go. One of the most difficult places to go in the Premier League. And like I said, we just have to focus on ourselves, worry about our business, do our job, and get the 3 points. And if Liverpool are able to drop points against Palace, then it puts us right in and amongst it again. And we're kind of feeling good about ourselves. But we could be sitting there Sunday evening, 8 points behind and feeling like we're in a bit of trouble here. But yeah, listen, team lineup is going to be important. I want Mikel to go out there and pick a side that's expressive and can go and get the job done. And there's no excuses. Players would have had plenty of rest during the week. Players would have not been playing in the Carabao Cup game against Port Vale. So with that said, let's go and get into the lineup. In goal, David Raya, back in goal. Had a rest during the week. Kepa done well. Didn't even have a shot on target, to be fair. But he looked comfortable with the ball at his feet and everything else. But David Raya goes back in goal. Right back, Jurriën Timber. Again, another player that had a nice full rest in midweek. And that will do him the world of good. Right centre-back will be William Saliba. More minutes in his legs on Wednesday night, but no issues at all. He starts the game, and of course, we're on the back of the news that it looks like he's about to sign his new contract. So, yeah, everything's seemingly all good. Left centre-back is Gabriel. Only played around about 10 minutes or so. Just finished the game out against Port Vale, but he would have had a nice rest. No issues, no drama. Left back will be Ricardo Calafiori. Don't think Miles Lewis-Skelly had a bad game, but Calafiori got his rest. He's obviously first choice at the moment, so that's a very straightforward one. Sitting in front will be Martin Zubimendi. Again, another player that got a nice rest. Christian Norgard came in, done really well. But Martin Zubimendi, he will play. He got a nice rest, and that should be, all well and good for this game. Next to him, Declan Rice. Again, a player that came on for around about 10 minutes or so just to see the game out. But he would have got a nice rest on Wednesday, so very straightforward. On the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka. Of course, Noni Madueke is injured. Bukayo Saka played 60 minutes against Port Vale. Mikel Arteta has already said that there were no issues, no cautions, no problems in the reason why he took him off. It was always planned no more than 60 minutes. Manage his load correctly, get the minutes in the legs, and he's ready to go for this game. And with Noni Madueke injured, we need Bukayo Saka more than ever for these big games. Very, very simple. In the middle, I'm going to go with Martin Odegaard. I do feel that he will be back. And I do think he is important to the way that we play and dictate and control. And there will be calls for Eze. But I feel that, listen, if you're going to play that two kind of number 10s, and you've kind of got to play Eze on the left more than the right, if that makes sense. But I just feel that Martin Odegaard will be available for this game, and he will start it. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Eberechi Eze, and this is very straightforward for me. You spend the kind of money you spend on Eze, you play him in the big games. He's been involved in 5 games, and he's got 2 assists and a goal. So, the proof is in the pudding, and he's proving just how important he actually is. So very, very straightforward. Don't care that he played around about 70-odd minutes, 75 minutes, whatever it was, against Port Vale. He only played 45 minutes last weekend, so no issues, no problems. He starts the game. And then up front as the main striker, Victor Gyökeres. Very, very straightforward. Also another player that got about 10 minutes in his legs on Wednesday, but pretty much had a very good rest. This is the kind of game that we're going to need him to turn up in and score goals, and something that we've not been able to do at Newcastle for a while. And the way Newcastle play and how aggressive they are and on the front foot, this could play into his hands. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So very straightforward. And yeah, listen, at the end of the day, like I always say, the bench is going to be very strong. It is at the moment. Looks like Henkape, Havertz and Jesus are the only, 3 main injuries. Obviously, Noni Madueke as well, sorry. But they look like the only other, injuries that we know about. So everybody else is fit and available and pretty straightforward for me. So, yeah, listen, I think that's a strong enough lineup. That's what I would like to see Mikel go with. And, yeah, listen, like I said, I can't stress enough how important this game is. And 3 points is a must. Not a draw, nothing but a win. It's that simple. So there we go. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you agree or disagree with that lineup? If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.